saying something. That should go I did not say you should go home and do anything. No. But you did it as classwork. I mean, just like what I can see is on. Where is your answer? Let me see your report view. All right. Let me see your own, Dr. Sandra. Is it coming up? Let me wait to see our own before I continue. The topic that led to what we have on the screen was how to model reports, right? So it means that we are done with data cleaning. We have started analyzing, right? Using visual model. Remember I said at this point we are looking at how we can actually derive insight with the Power BI visualization tools, where I told us that all these are different visualization tools. All these are data visualization tools. And I know we have used one of them, which is what? Table. Check your notes. I just want to be sure that we are on the same page. We have used what? The table, which is a two-dimensional what? Model that can be used, or a two-dimensional visualization or visual that can be used to model reports. And I said part of the steps that need to be followed is that you need to have an idea of the question you want to answer, right? And the question we derived was summarizing. We're using this Amazon sales data, where we summarize the total profits based on the region, right? And then here we use another visual called what? Clustered, which falls under graphical what? Visual, so that we can easily identify the trend and what? The pattern, and if possible, the outliers. You should remember that. I said the benefit of visualizing with graph is such that you can easily see the trend. And if you look at what I have on the screen, this graph has helped me to know without stress which of the region that generated the highest what? Profits. And which of the region is that? That is what? That should be sub-Sahara what? Africa. Followed by what? Europe. Followed by what? Asia, right? And then followed by what? Middle East. The least is what? North America. So this is you interpreting your what? Your finding. What I just narrated now, you are expected to put it in writing, either in PowerPoint slide or in other words, editor like Word. Because that is what you will end up presenting to your stakeholder. Don't forget that the whole of this working here might just be your technical, working. This might not be what you present to what? To the non-technical what? Personnel. So at the end of answering all your questions using this different visual, you are expected to sit down and start looking at the report one after the other with the help of the graphical what? Visualization, and be able to write out your insights, your findings. These are what will influence decision. These are what will be used to make what? Smart decision, not this technical work. This one is just techniques you use to get what? Those conclusions or insights. Am I communicating? You have a question?
I've got that in my own column graphs. You were not as ascending or descending.
But is it the same data? Let's check other person's own have it properly displayed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that should be the case, it might be your setting. Which version of Power BI did you install?
Microsoft.
Microsoft. So we do not Install Microsoft. Was it not the same Microsoft that we installed?
No. Was it Microsoft or the other one?
Something like Subtonic.
Yeah, Subtonic.
So probably it comes with different settings. So what will happen is, let's keep going. Maybe after the class, I will check the setting. I think you have to do the setting. But which one is the highest there?
Is this
only the only thing is that your own is not sorted.
Yeah.
Our own is sorted.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Our own is what? Is sorted. Why your own is not sorted. But the information aligned, right? What is the list there?
The list is
not good. Good. So the issue is what? The sorting. So we'll look into that. All right. So now, okay.
If you click on any of those column bar charts, it's now I like only that one.
No. We have not come to that. Okay. I have not started teaching you how to slice.
Okay.
What we are doing now is that maybe you mistakenly click and you notice some differences.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Okay. We'll get to that. Now, the topic I am starting with is called Power BI reports formatting. Power BI report formatting. Though we did a bit of it, but I said that is not the topic. So one of the strengths of this program is what? Formatting. It has the ability of transforming the values in your reports, including the visual itself. So note, Power BI has or have powerful formatting or transformative tools. Power BI has powerful formatting or transformating tools. Power BI has what? Powerful formatting and transformating what? Tools that can be used to improve. The appearance of your findings. That can be used to improve the appearance of your findings. The appearance of what? Your findings. The appearance of your findings. So if I may ask us, you can see that before, in our last class, before we could be able to see this value, we have to go there and what? Format. Because when we created, they were not as visible as they are right now. But then I was not taking it as a topic. I only what? Deploy them so that we can see the metric. So this is where I am officially what? Explaining some of those things we did. So I want to go through it all over so that we can get it right. Is that clear? Now, let's look at the steps on how to format Power BI model and its content. Steps on how to format Power BI model and its content. Power BI model and its content. So in this case, what is the model? This is the model. And the model is presenting analysis of what? Total profits per what? Region, right? So I'm going to show us how to format a tabular model and then also how to format what? Graph. Then I will now hold on for you to what? To replicate the same thing before we proceed. So your step number one, I'm starting with what? Formatting tabular model. Click on the table. Click on the table you want to format. Click on the table you want to format. Click on the table you want to format. So I have what? Selected it. So after I have selected it, I have to switch from what? This to what? To this. So your next step, click on the format your visual command. click on the format your visual command. Am I communicating? So I will click on it. Once I click, what happened? It brings out what? This feature. And this feature can be grouped into visual or what? General. So your next step, select visual for formatting the contents in your report visual. Select visual for formatting the content in your report visual. Select visual for formatting the content in your report visual. So what does that mean? What are the content in this visual that we are formatting? The write-up, right? The write-up. That is what you are focusing on if you are on what? Visual. And general, continuation, your note, and general for formatting the model itself. And general for formatting the model itself. General for formatting the model itself. For formatting the model itself. So what you will do after writing, just pay attention and watch me playing around the set of features under what? Visual, and the ones under what? General. And then you will see that when I am exploring here, the content will be transforming. Then when I'm here, the model will be what? Transforming. So just pay attention now. So under visual, I want to start with what? Style presets. You are just to observe, don't operate. I'll give you time to do that. Now, right now, the features under this category, they are collapsed. So I will click here to expand it. Now, what do I have here? There is a default appearance. We have not started formatting, but you can see that what? The even row formatting, the first one is what? White background. The second one is what? Grayscale. That is because what? We are on default. So if I drop and I switch from default to, for example, to minimum, check your report. Minimum, no alternative formatting again. All of them are having what? White background. Are you following? Now, if I go back there and click on border what? Header. Look at the appearance you have now. Only the what? The first header has what? Black what? Background color. Other ones with what? White color. That is default. What has been pre-programmed. That is what we are exploring now. Now let me go to what? Flashy rows. Flashy row. Can you see what flashy row gave me now? Now, while I am explaining this, there are times you don't have to waste your time doing the manual formatting. Once you have deep knowledge of this what? Style, this style presets, you can exploit them and get your work done within what? Minimum what? Time. So I can come here and select, okay, let me check what? Sparse. Look at what sparse did. Sparse is what? Only what? The header and the what? The first row and the last row. So I can come here and say, okay, I want to use what? There are more of them. I want to use condense. This condense. You know, before I was not seeing this one before. This one was wrapped, but now condense means what? I'm able to what? To view everything within the window view. So I can come back and say what? None. That is, I want to define it, I want to design it by myself. Now, just to go with the color of my bar, I will just go ahead with what? Flashy rows, right? Because flashy row has some of the color I have used. So let me work with this what? Color focus. That is for what? Style preset. Now I want to exploit what? Grid. Under grid, I have what? A horizontal grid what? Turn off. So I'll turn it on. Now I have what? Horizontal what? Grid. Now I want to specify the color. Black. So you can now see that what? They are visible now, right? I want to also specify the thickness. Maybe I'm not seeing them very well with that thickness. Now they are visible. Now let's go for what? Vertical grid. Currently is switched off. I will turn it off and then expand it. Then also specify what? The color. I want to use what? Black. And then also you are using that thickness, which is what? 4. Sorry, 1. So I can specify the thickness. Then I can go to border. I can say, okay, right now I am seeing only bottom border. So I want all the border lines to be visible. Now, as I click, you will see them. As I click, anyone that is not there currently will be activated. So right now you have all the border. You have all the what? The border. You have all the border. Now, if you want to also enhance the border and you want to change the color, you can see that they are now, as soon as I increase the thickness, they are now visible. This is one, this is another one. And then if I scroll down, I'll see the other one there. If I don't want to present it with this color, I can use maybe this same color. You can see that the border line have what? Changed. Okay, so I'm going. Now let's go to value section. Let's go to value. So I'm done with what? Which of them brought this now? Grid, right? So I want to go to what? Values. Value here, I want to start dealing with the content. So I can bold. Consider what? You have drawn. If the values are too bolded or too thick, you can drop it, or you can apply it. You can italics it. You can increase the size. You know, remember that we taught some of this one in our last class. That is why, if not, you will not see 16. So you start like 8. So you start what? Increasing. Then the color of the text, I can stay on white now that I have that color. If white, then you have to compare. If the white does not go, you do what? You drop it. You switch back to the one you were before. Okay? Then the background, since I use that narrow flashing, which has given me background, I don't want to temper with what? The background. But in your own case, you can temper with it. Then we have alternative background. Then we have column header. Let's do something under column header. Column header are all these. They are not visible enough, right? So there is need for me to improve. Let me take them to that same 16. Then if that should be the case, you have to increase your what? Your frame, your visual frame. Let me reduce this. Let me reduce this a little. So now, if I click here, I'm able to see all the words, the header. I can see the write-up. So let's go back to the formatting. Remember that we are under what? Column what? Header, right? So now we are able to see all. Then the color of it also, I want to maintain that black. Then the background color, I want to maintain. Which background color should I use? Let me use this. Then I have to go and change the text color to what? Something visible. Let me use this. Let me use this just to apply uniformity. Then there is need for me to increase it. Not seeing it very well because there's space there. Then alignment, I want to be at the center or what, the right or any of these alignments. So let's use this. Then let's go back to value, this, and collapse it. Let's go to total. You expand total. Total will be what? What you have here now. So total, I want to redefine it. But I want to change the write-off from total. So I'll say what? Total what? Total profit, right? I'm adding profit to it. So I modified it now from what was there. You know, what I had before was just what? Total. But now I've added what? Total profit. Then the same thing, you know, we have already touched some of this. So let me just go to the background section and just also give it what? Black. And then change the text color. Change the text color to that same color that I choose for the other header. Just to, now I've done that. I'll go there and collapse this. Which one we're exploring now? Total, right? I can go to specific column. Maybe I have some column like region. You know, I have just 2 words, column, involved in my model analysis. So maybe I want to just attribute some particular formatting to only one of them. So I'll turn it off and then be able to what? See if there could be anything. So under that one that you selected, so you want to define each color. you can see that it's not affecting the other column because you said only that column you want to what? Format. So anything you do here, it's only applicable to what? To that particular what? Column. So if I don't want that column, then I will have just what? Left it on what? On all. Okay? So I'm just trying to explain. So let me just take it back because there might be a scenario where you might have to what? Deal with a particular column. Like now, maybe you just want to actualize the value here. So if that should be the case, you can also determine the alignment. So whatever I'm doing henceforth only affect what? That column. Now you can reset to default. In case after you have added all these things at some point, you have disfigured everything, you can do what? You can reset everything back to the default. Now cells element. Here you are talking to what? Maybe if you turn it on, if there is any way you can, if it's applicable, here you want to use conditional formatting, but let me not go into that because the topic on its own. If not, it will confuse you. Where you have to use certain condition. For example, now you say that value above 6 million, their cell should be formatted with what? Red. Value below certain value or profit below certain value should be formatted with what? Blue. So that is conditional what? Formatting. Is a topic on its own. So what we are doing now is just what? General formatting. So that is where you will have used what? Condition. This FS means what? You are using function to determine the background color. So I don't want to go into that. Now, URL icon, this is where you can say, okay, maybe a value, for example, here, what we are going to do is a topic on its own where you can download some images. Maybe you're talking about profits. You know, there is an icon that represents profits. So you attach the picture of it to this value. So there will be picture attached to this value, like picture of money attached to this. So I'm going to download those images and store them in the folder. Then their URL, their address is what I will now what? Paste here. So that to be calling the picture from there is a topic on its own. I don't want to go that for now. It's a gradual process. Now, when you bring in that image, this is where you resize what? If it's too big. So until you bring the image, the resize will not make any impact. So these are the basic what? Formatting for table. Now I want to switch to what? Now that same table, I told us that when you come here, you have both visual and what? General. So let's quickly look at the general before I switch to graph. Now, under general focus on the layout itself, the visual. So now the background of the visual, you can consider it here as maybe this. You can see that what is affecting the background. So had it been you have not formatted, you have not given your content background color, you will have been seeing what? This particular what? Background color. So this is just like a container with its own background inside what? Another container. It is only the part that container is not covering that you are seeing what? Its background. I don't know if I'm communicating. Now, that is for the effects. You can work on the transparency. Maybe you don't want it to overshadow because there are times that you use the model background as the content background. Using one stone to kill what? Two birds. Are you with me now? So now, if you discover that the background is overshadowing the content, where you are applying that concept, you transparent it, you fade it. You fade it so that it will not have too much impact on the letters. But in this case now, since it's already having its own standalone background, there is no need. There is no need for me to even use what? To bring out a separate what? Background. Because it's not going to portray what? User-friendly what? Interface. Then the visual border, I can turn it on. So you just have to, because you are learning, that's why I'm touching them. Normally, you don't apply all of them. Once you get some formatting that makes your work presentable, you move on. Okay? So having too complex formatting sometimes shows that you are a learner. You understand? Formatting with different color so that you are a learner. It's very simple user interface because we said that what? This program is what? Mobile friendly. always consider people that will use phone. So now, just to play around them, any of these, if they are useful to you, that is why I'm selecting them and applying it. That is border. You can see that it's only affecting what? The border. What that does is that it makes this whole report to stand out from what? Other what? Reports. Then the edges, you want to curve it. You want to be curved. That is when you come to what? Rounded what? Corner. So if I click here now, what happened? What happened? Consider what? The corners are curved now. Look at this here. Let me move this out. They are curved. They are curved. That is if you want it. Am I communicating? Yeah. Then shadow. I can say, okay, I want to apply shadow so that it will stand out. Shadow color, let me use this. Okay, it's on it. I mean, I'm selecting this. So I've stepped up. Let me click on this. This is the one I want to apply what? The shadow on. So I'll turn the shadow on. Then use this color. It also makes your report model to what? To stand out. I don't know if you are seeing the shadow very well, but I'm seeing it here. Where did I stop? I think I was still explaining it. So we are done with this one. I've added shadow. We're done with this one. Let me go back to format if there's any other thing that we need to. Okay, so that is odd. Now let's look at the graph now. Look up. Remember that it was under general that I started formatting what? This. So if you want to format maybe data format, whatever, the region and all that, title, you want to give it title, but it's not on right now. You come here and type the title. Let's say you want to write your question, because the assignment you are going to be given, you have to write your question on top of each of these words. Though sometimes this has already summarized the what? The question. Because I'm seeing sum of total profit by what? Region. But if you want to make it more laudable, you can come here and say, okay, your analysis question, you can just say analysis. I don't know whether. Yes. On top of the report you select. That is if the model did not summarize the question like this graph now. You have to manually add it. So what is the question here? The question we answer here was that what? Total what? Summary of what? Summary of total profits generated by what? By each. So sometimes I always make sure that your question is not too long. Each what? Region. I think this is still based on the length of it. So now, to format this header, you have some presets. These are different headers you can choose. If you choose this one, check how it presents it. That is 5. Let me choose what? 2. What was there before? What was there before? Normal, right? Okay, so if any of these is not giving you what you want, then you can now what? Increase it here manually. And then you can what? Go down and place it at the what? The center, so that it will cover the entire. So all your assignment, I want the title of the question should be written through what? This title. Very important. It makes it look more presentable and explanatory. You can change the handwriting as well. You understand? Depending on the one that gives you the best presentation. Then in case you want to also add subtitles, maybe you want to say something under that main heading, you can turn it on, expand it, and write. So let's say, what could be the subtitle? Let's say, just example, let's say what? Analysis, so that you see how it will appear. So in the case where you have something to say, so that subtitle also have its own what? Formatting, in case you want to make it visible, and then you also want to define it alignment in case there is reason why maybe it's too long. Maybe your question is too long, so you are cutting part of it and use subtitle to add it. You understand? So you can use that as well. Now, This is for wrapping. That is for the alignment. That's for the alignment. Then we have divider, in case you need it. This is what to rule a line to separate the title from what the main report. So you see what came out now. Look at the line now. It's here. So let's improve it a little. Expand it. Then what type of line do you want? Is it dotted line? So now I have what? Dotted line or solid line. Then increase the thickness so that we can see it. Can you see the line now? So that line separates your description section from what? The main report. Spacing. Now you want some space between the label. Look at this as we are clicking. Maybe the labels are too close to what? To the header. Then effects. You want a kind of background to, you can see it now. So this can also be a design. Then you can come here and say, okay, maybe it's too sharp. You can reduce what? The transparent and all that. Vertical border, shadow. All these are optional things depending on you. One good thing I love about this program is that even if at the end of the day, I did not explain most of them, if you go there on your own and pick any command there, you will see the impact. You see the impact. So you can go on and on and on. So let me quickly touch this before I allow also what? To practice. So I'm formatting what? Graph now. I have left what? Table. Graph. The same thing. Once you select the graphical model, switch to the same format. You see that what? The language are different now based on the type of model you are formatting. Am I communicating? Okay. Now I can change my plan from here first to this so that I can have, and when I come here, you see what I'm having is different. I wasn't seeing slides when I was on what? Clustered, when I was on bar. Let me try that so that you can understand it now. So if I come back here now and change it to this, and then I switch to what? To this. Look at what you have here. Y-axis, nothing like what? Slides. Now, let me switch back to what? To, was it this I clicked the other time? This, right? And go back to the format. You see what? Slides. What this slide does is to help you to change this color. The bars color. So now this is different color. I want here to, based on the color I must have used, I want to align the bars color, the sector what color. So if I come to slides, you see all of them. These are the list of all the colors you have used. So if I want to change this one to this, just watch out now. You have changed it now to that selected color. This one, I'm changing it to this. So you can see the way I am modifying the default color now based on the color that will actualize what I want to present. Alternative color, I can come here and choose any color. So you can see it. Then the space between them, you can work on the space, can increase it. That is the inner radius. The inner what? Radius. How much of it do you want to have? So you are the rotation, that is you want to tilt one. Can you see it now? You want to bring, maybe you want to change the angle of what? Those sector placement. Now, while you are, now you can go to general. Each of the model have the command for formatting the content and the ones formatting what? The layout, the model itself. Then under here, I'll say, okay, let's go to effect and change the color to black. You see that what? Sometime when you change the background color, it brings out your what? You know, we have not formatted value. That is why we are seeing as if they are being overshadowed. Now, if we go back to visual now, and let me quickly go to what? Where I have, where do I have values? Let's see, under here. Let me check here. Maybe I will be able to see alternative tests. Oh, no. Okay, based on what is available here, let's see. Okay, so I just want to see something. Okay, this one is what? Affected. Then the text color. Okay, that was one I used white, right? I want to see. This is background color. This is shadow. Okay, just want to make sure that under this, Okay, let's come here. Let's go to legend. Under legend, we will see text. You can actually exploit all this. The command must be there, only that is hidden. So take your time. If I click here now, you can see that what we have been able to what to make this one visible. Now remaining the what the label, right? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. We'll get to what? Detail what? Label. So under detail, we have what? Value. So now values, good. They are coming out now. The size, the size, the size, then the color. Let me change to white. Perfect. Then the units, display units. Let's display them in what? In thousands, so that we can see actual value. So this one, let's say auto. Let's see what we have under auto. Then decimal. You can choose 1 decimal unit. So if there's any other thing, if after formatting you discover that you have actually gone out of the standard, you what? You reset by clicking here to return everything back. Now, what we change that makes all this value not to be visible was what? Background color the other time, right? And that background color was what picked under what? Under general. So I will go to what? Where I have that background color and change it to what? White. So you can take your time to exploit them. So now, I think this was another report, right? So let's say I want to also copy it and then paste, then carry it out, come here, change it to another graph. Let's say this graph. Let's say this graph, just to visualize this one as well. Good. This is another wonderful graph that will make sense. So just put it here. Now, if you check the format now, no slicing. Every model has its own what? Different what? Formatting feature. So let me select it and do some formatting here. So under what? Page information or converse. Sorry, I'm not on it. That is why I'm saying that. So here, color. In case, because I'm looking at other colors I'm using. If this is off from other color, then I have an opportunity to what? To change. Let's say I want to align with this color. You see it now. When you are creating your dashboard, because what we are designing now is called dashboard. Now, when you are designing your dashboard, make sure that what? You don't use more than 2 colors. Sometimes 2 colors is enough. Or 1 color. Remember that black and white, they are not part of the counting. So if I'm using just blue plus white and black, it will balance. Now, I'll go to what? Data label. Data label is where you want to start actualizing the what? The content. Data label. So I can come to value and say, okay, I want to bold. That is what is on the bar. I want to what? Increase it. You can see that as I increase, the placement change because you have changed the alignment. So I prefer this one so that they can be, is either I increase, then they'll be placed by their side, or I leave it to what? On this. Then the color of those, I can change it. No, the color should be what? Towards white, right? Let's leave it at white. The display units, I can leave it auto, or I choose what? In thousands. So let's leave it what? On auto. Then percentage, background color, you can turn it on, and then probably choose background color. Then transparent is too high, reduce it so that it can be visible, depending on you. Then, and so on, category what? Label. That one is for formatting what? All these values. You can see it now. Then, this thing is just very simple. You just want to sit down with it. It's just very simple. Then come here, okay, want to change the background color now. Go to effect, and then come here, maybe choose black. If that's okay, if it's not, then go back to what? Black. Make sure that what we want to see is that the content of the visuals are clear and readable. Don't go and compound it because you want to use background color, and then you make sure you end up making this what? Not visible. Now, the entire, lastly, before I allow us to develop the whole of that dashboard you have now, you will format it. Now, there are times after you have developed all the slide with your background color, you will not notice that you are still having some contradiction. So what do you do in that case? Now, I'll click on the Canva and then go to what? Go to view. Go to view, or click on the Canva itself and then go to the format. Then I'll say what? Wallpaper. Then I could just use this background color to give me focus on my report. You can see that what now I am able to what? To focus on what? My report. So let me arrange it very well. So I need to reduce this a little. Or I change the page view from fit to what? Actual size, so that I can have a bigger space. Or from here to fit to page, let's see. I think this is the best we can use. Then have a way of, let there be space in between them. Don't let any of what, the mode and what, lap each other. It is not professional. Then your arrangement matters. So if you are covering this edge, cover it, then expand this one a little, then also come here and expand this one if possible. Just to have equivalent what length with this. Then it's now left for you to increase. That means that now you have more room to what? To increase the size because you have space. So I can just click here and come back here and then go to value straight and increase my value now that I have enough space in order to fill that space a little. Increase it to fill it. All right, so once you have done that, you save. Any question? So classwork now.
Yes.
I'm giving out 30 minutes. 30 minutes because I don't want you to rush. At the end of that 30 minutes, your own dashboard should be more beautiful than mine. Calculate your color. Like I said, just use simple colors. Start with one color or two colors. Your 30 minutes start counting now. All right, so that is how to format your model and its content. Now let's look at another topic, which is let's look at another topic, which is Power BI slicer model. Yeah, that's another model. Power BI slicer. Power BI slicer. Let's look at that. Power BI slicer. Power BI slicer. So that is the last one I'll teach. Then Power BI slicer. Definition. Power BI slicer is a visualization tool. It's a visualization tool. Power BI slicer is a visualization tool. Are you with me? A visualization tool used in Power BI reports. So in other words, you cannot use it until you have what? Reports. Used in Power BI reports to filter data, underline to filter data. To filter data, underline to filter data. And narrow down the information displayed. And narrow down the information displayed. In other visualizations. And narrow down the information displayed in other visualizations. In other visualization. So that is the simple definition of what? Slicer. Now, let's look at it from the technical angle. Pay attention, nobody should operate. Let's look at it from the technical angle. To us, slicer helps us to use this model to answer multiple questions. You understand that? It helps us to use this form model So the main model we have here now, 1, 2, because this one is a descendant of what? This. What happened here is what this one will display. So we have indirectly 2 what? Model here. Now, this model is currently answering analysis question that says summarize total profits per what? Region. Why this is currently answering, is it the same thing? The same region? Yeah, the same region. Okay, that means I duplicated it. So now, how do I, if for example, I want this model to output different analysis, as in to output 5 to 6 or even unlimited different analysis from what is currently what? Presented. So I have to bring in a technology called what? Slicer. So let's quickly write down the steps on how to activate the slicer visual. The application of slicer. Application of slicer. So how do I apply it? For the data filtering. So step number 1. So I want to remove this very one. Need to remove. I want to reduce one of these in order to have space for the slicer. So I put my slicer here. Make sure that no report is selected. You click on the canvas. Because that's the only way you can be sure that what? You are not on any of what? These reports. Then you now go back to your visual. This is the slicer. So your next step, click on slicer visual. So in other words, this is another visual now. Click on slicer visual. Now, once you click, watch out, it will add a frame. This is the frame. So let me put the frame here for now. Now, it's waiting to receive the criteria header or data. The data is going to use what? To display different information across all your existing reports. Now, this is the logic. This is the logic. How do I know which of the header? This is data set you are working with, right? You expand it. How do I know which of the header I am to supply each data? In my slicer. Now, you need to picture the reports. Let me just use this as an example. Here, I am answering analysis question that says, as you find a total profit made or generated per what? Region. Now, I will now use my slicer for country. That is what? This region is made up of what? Countries, right? Now, if I want to change this report from summary per region, I want to slice this in a way that if I pick a particular country, it will still output this list, but the value I'm going to get here will be for what? The summary of the total profit from only that country. Does anybody understand that? That is the reason why I don't want to use region. I don't want to add region as my slicing criteria, because this is already giving me what? The breakdown of region. So I want another analysis. This is not giving me per country what? Analysis. So I'm going to add country to my slicer so that if I pick one of the country, it will return this report, but the values I'll be getting here will now be from only that country selected in my slicer. We are all coming from pivot table now in a cell. It's the same concept. So now I will add this. Why did I have to explain that? So that you know how to specify slicer what? Data. You have to be logical about it. Now, this has listed what? All the country that make up what? Each of the region that you analyze in this data. Now, right now, is analyzing only this region, which is what? Comoros. So that is what is selected here. Okay, I don't think I've selected. Okay, Angola. So if I go to what? Australia now, what will be happening here? Can you see it now? The value here is changing. This was not the initial report we were presenting. What this model was presenting was the breakdown of total profit per what? The list of all the what? The region. But as soon as we pick only one country now, that means what? This, why you are no longer seeing all of them, that means what? There are no reports. There are no reports of what? Australia in some region. That's the reason why some of the regions are no longer what? Displaying here. Did you understand that? So now let me go to another region now, like here now. So the same thing. So let me click on this one. So let me bring back everything so you can actually clear it off. Can clear selection so that you return everything. So they are there, but remember that let me even delete this one. Let me delete this one so that, I reduce this report. That's why some of them are what? Wrapped inside. Let me delete this so that I can expand this so that we can be seeing them. Hello? Who is talking? Of the sound. This is Mr. Prosper. So now that we have expanded it, let me expand this one now for now so that we can be seeing. Okay, I think this is where it stopped. Let me just stop here. So now let me pick another country now. Check what happened. You can see it now. So which means that this Angola has only transaction in what? Sub-Sahara what? Africa. Now, if you come to what? To this Belize, it has only what? Transaction in this. If I want to select more than one, I will hold down the shift button and keep control button rather to select multiple country. So what you are analyzing now, I want Sharon to interpret this, because when we get to your class presentation, like we did the other time in Python, you are going to use your dashboard to present your analysis, and you should be able to know how to communicate it. So as you slice across 3 countries, what is this report say, Sharon? Look at profits from 3 countries, not region now, because your slicer is using country, right? Is using what? Country. So which means that this particular country generated this amount from what? Asia region. This particular country generated what? That is these 3 countries generated the total of this from what? This region. The same thing, these 3 countries generated what? Total of this from what? Central what? Africa and what? Caribbean. The same thing, that's what you are saying. So each time you slice, you should interpret your report, because the model report will change. Now you click on this icon to clear it. This icon to clear your report so that you can slice again. Maybe you want about answering another question. Now, this is a model. Being a model, it can also be formatted. Any visual you use here has what? Formatting feature. Now let's go to formatting feature of it. What do you have here? Slicer what? Setting. So right now I'm using vertical what? Listing. I can say, okay, I want to use what? Tile. It will now make them look like what? Box them. Am I communicating? Now it has its own coloring, the value. You come here also and format it. Change the value to what? Maybe dark black. And then if you want to increase the size, go ahead and do that as well. So your assignment, I want to see that every visual should be formatted. Any visual you choose from here has what? Formatting feature. That is what I'm doing right now. So I want to define its background color. I'll go to where? General, right? Go to what? Effect. Then choose what? Background color. So now left for you to choose color that will bring it out from other aspects. So now if I click here now, the same thing. All the reports you must have created, your slicer automatically connect to them. So this is not actually slicing on only this. You know, there's another report here. There's another report here. I think this was here we did a counting per region, right? So as it's affecting it here, it's also affect, even if you have 1 million reports, as you slice, it will slice across them. It is now left for you to pick those reports and start interpreting, because here now it's giving me a different report for what it was given. That means what? There are only 2. If I select here now, look at it, the total here, no total. No, as this one has no value, it couldn't count anyone. Here, 1. So it's actually affecting all the what? The existing reports. Any question? So that is how to use slicer. Any question? So let me go back to setting. I come to selection and turn off what? This. So I just turn off what? Multiple what? Selection. And then I'm turning on what? If that multiple selection is not on, you cannot select more than one. So you can put it there like that. So this is where